like you have to find like the kingpin. There's a kingpin in the neighborhood is what Cody calls them. So if you sell them, it's like you mention their name, like most of the other neighborhoods is going to sign up.
Yeah.
Just because they know him, and if he did it, then he's done his research, all this. It's probably good.
Welcome everybody out to the Door to Door podcast. We got the Golden Door Deep Dive with Jaden Smith, a young buck from the pest control space.
Yes, sir.
Dude, let's talk about your stats. Let's walk through a little bit of your summer. So,
sure.
What summer was this for you?
So this was my 4th summer.
Okay, summer number 4. How much revenue did you put up?
I ended at 670.
670. Okay, so 20 grand more
Yeah.
than the requirement. So congratulations, that's pretty
sure.
awesome.
Thanks.
Walk me through your progression. Year 1, 2, 3, and then 4.
For sure. So I actually graduated a little early back in 2020 so I could go out and sell. That first year we went out to Baltimore and then also Delaware. We switched a little bit. Went out my rookie year, sold 150K in revenue. Stayed out until I hit that. Our second year was a lot longer summer. I went like an extra 2 months, but didn't get like much better. I only sold 165, so only like 15K more.
Yeah.
But I stayed out there way longer. So I didn't get better. I actually got worse, if anything.
Oh, wow.
That third year is where I got a little bit better. Sold about 4 months again, but got better in revenue. Only did 200K though. And then this last year, went out with Cody Olive and then got the Golden Door done.
There we go. So I guess obviously the biggest question after that is what caused the jump?
There's probably a number of things that caused it. I'd probably say the biggest thing would be just probably proximity. Like having Cody Olive with me like the whole time. Like we trained once a week before the whole summer, and then he would run the morning meetings every single day. And with him selling at a super high level, just helped me sell a lot more.
Yeah.
The years previous, Devin was just my manager, my brother. So if he's selling at 300K, I'm going to fall a little bit short.
Yeah.
But if Cody's selling $1 million, I'm still probably going to fall short, but I'm going to get a lot more out of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt.
Yeah. I love that. This is just like a really big life hack. Is like, I mean, you could pave the way yourself for sure. Oh. And we've seen that done time and time again.
100%.
But it's like the quick way to do it, just surround yourself with someone that's doing it and doing it at a higher level than you.
Gotta find the right leader.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Cody Olive, like massive shout out. One of the greatest leaders I've witnessed, even just from my like bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible human. He's definitely one of those guys that like you look at him and you're like, you could have done anything with your life and you would have been successful at it.
100%. Dude, he's just dialed in every single aspect of his life.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible human. Great guy to follow. Like just so like professional in like every single way. So I'm really glad he was able to help you. I want to dive in a little bit. So like, you know, you mentioned year 1, year 2, and you kind of even backtracked a little bit. Why do you think that was?
To year 3?
Yeah.
Or from year 1 to year 2?
I think you said year 1 to year 2. You kind of backtracked a little bit.
Yeah, I sold a lot longer. Just didn't sell that much. I think it had to do, and I really don't care where the market is. I don't care where I sell. I can sell anywhere. But I think I sold in Phoenix. That's the second year. And it was just brutal, dude. Super, super hot. And it was just a little bit more of a competitive market. So I think that'd be like the 2 main reasons why it was just a lot tougher to sell.
Yeah. So do you think that kind of got in your head a little bit, or like, what do you think it was about that made it?
Not
tougher?
really. I think after my rookie year, I just felt like I knew what I was doing. Like I sold 150K as a rookie. That was pretty good. Like I wasn't top 10 or anything, but it's still like pretty good from what I understood. So I guess I just went out there thinking that I was going to get a lot better without putting like a ton of training in. So that didn't help it either.
Gotcha. So you kind of were like, you know, riding high, a little cocky, and then just got your face kicked in a little bit.
Just a little, dude. Just a little.
Well, glad you repented of that.
Yeah.
and whatnot. So where were you this last summer?
This last year we were in New Jersey. We stayed pretty much the entire summer there, and then for postseason we went to Indiana, and I sold a little bit in Michigan, and then Texas. So we were like all over.
Gotcha. So you did a few different markets. Which market was your favorite out of those?
Jersey was my favorite, for sure. Probably just because I sold more.
Yeah, that's kind of like where your heart is, because that's where you left it all on the table, right?
Yeah. And then in years previous, like postseason, or we moved, like I think I sold 2020 there for postseason and 2022. So I just liked Jersey. Yeah. I didn't sell there a lot, but this summer I really, really enjoyed it.
Totally. Tell me about Jersey. Is it, I mean, I've heard tons about it. You know, I've had Seeger on the podcast, Cody, your brother and everything. Yeah. But yeah, do talk to me a little bit about Jersey then. Is it pretty competitive? Like what was your biggest struggle there?
I don't think it was super competitive with like different pest control companies. But it's just super ethnic. So there's tons of like different ethnicities. My favorite would be the Indians. Getting the bandwagon rolling, dude, those guys just thrive off the bandwagon. So just being able to, like, I think I sold 9 in a row one time, just all Indian townhomes, like 9 homes in a row.
Okay, can we talk about that real quick? Yeah. Because like this isn't a race thing, guys. This is a cultural thing.
Cultural.
Because they're very big barterers.
100%.
My father-in-law is Middle Eastern. He's like the epitome of the barterer.
Yes.
So that's just kind of how it is in Asia and whatnot. So like, what is the secret to selling Indians?
Indians, dude. Cody is probably the best at selling them. So I think that's why I like working with them, just because one, they're the number one, like they just know how to negotiate. And you can kind of tell like where they are on like the buying scale, or buying temperature and everything like that. You just have to be super aggressive with them. Like super, like you can push them.
Like assert your dominance kind of thing?
Yeah. Just tell them what they're going to do and they'll literally just sign up.
Interesting. Do they bleed you dry? Like, are you like losing tons of commissions on them or?
No, I mean, most of them are super, super nice. Like they're all way nice. Some of them will literally like just take your money.
Interesting.
And, like they don't care because they want like the best deal. Like, probably just negotiating with, like, you have to find like the kingpin. There's a kingpin in the neighborhood is what Cody calls them. So if you sell them, it's like you mention their name, like most of the other neighborhoods is gonna sign up. Yeah. Just because they know him, and if he did it, then he's done his research, all this. It's probably good.
Yeah. But that's fascinating.
I enjoyed working with them. So
yeah, what's probably the biggest thing to overcome with selling them?
With selling, just keeping the price high. They love to negotiate, so just keeping the price high and then just going the rounds with them, and after so many rounds, they'll finally
they'll crack.
They'll crack.
That's fascinating though, and then so especially because you're not, giving them the bare minimum, you're not bleeding on commissions.
No.
You're actually selling them like just like you would a regular customer.
Yeah.
Do you think most of that's mentality, or do you think that's negotiating skills or sales skills, or what would you
probably has to
attribute
factor
that to?
with probably all of them. Probably just like a little bit of everything.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I mean, it is like they're sharp. They'll know if you don't know your stuff.
They're quick.
You're out.
You have to be the expert for sure.
Yeah.
Like you have to know exactly what you're talking about. They always ask every question under the sun, so you kind of just got to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
And they can feel that for sure.
Yeah, and this is coming from someone that has not traditionally sold well to Indians, but that's super impressive. So a lot of diversity. I mean, obviously you're running into different like cultural backgrounds, different things like that. What are some other like tips and tricks on like navigating through that? Like you're not just talking to suburban white dad all the time.
Navigate it? Like what do you mean?
Like, what are the best like practices in like adapting to each customer?
Oh yeah, we just do like situational stuff. So there's like, if you have like a training partner, you tell your friend that you want to pitch a white male or white female, this age group, new homeowner, cookie cutter. It's like kind of stuff like that, where it's like you're pitching an Indian in a townhome. So just like doing like different training situations to be able to put yourself in the best spot to be able to sell to those people really well.
Gotcha. So like a lot of role play, a lot of practice.
Role playing practice is always good. And then just experience on the doors, I'd say.
Love that.
You just have to get the experience out the doors.
That's amazing. So now kind of going into like the nuances of the summer, because you were out for a long time.
Yeah.
So you started, what month did you start? When did you end?
I started April 10, I think.
Okay.
April 10. We finished in Jersey at end of August. And then we went out to Indiana for a month and a half and then finished out in Texas. And I got the Golden Door on October 26th.
Oof.
Yeah.
So
it was yeah.
Yeah, so you were almost out till Halloween after being there, like, because a lot of guys start in May.
A lot of guys start in May.
So it's like, yeah, you're there most of April and then through most of October.
Yep.
How do you keep a level head grinding for so long?
For sure comes to it, endurance. You have to have endurance on the doors. Like, it's not it is a day by day thing, but it's more of like you're strapping in to war for 100 days to 150 days.
Yeah.
And just going until you get your goal done. But
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you don't renegotiate your goal.
Can't. I tried a few times and you just can't. It just does not work out.
Yeah.
What happened was at the end of August, that's when we left Jersey, I still had like a little over 200K for postseason, and I couldn't get my mind to wrap my head around that, just because last year I did 200K alone.
Yeah.
So having to do 200K in postseason just didn't add up in my head.
Yeah.
So I really didn't want to stay and do it, but having the people around me like Cody, Devin, my wife Raina, it's like having those guys push me to like finish it out. And
yeah, you kind of can't not do it.
I couldn't tell those people that I can't.
If Cody Olive is my manager, I'm not hitting my goal.
There's no way I can look that guy in the eyes and tell him I can't get it done. Like, I just have to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially guys like your brother too, that like, gosh, that level of accountability is like those three people alone, your wife, your brother, and then Cody. It's like, that's a pretty powerful like accountability trifecta right there.
Yeah.
Speak to me about that, especially your brother, because
I was just gonna say something.
talking to Devin on the podcast, it was like you were a huge part of his success.
Really?
And I imagine you were like, he was a big part of your success. So like, talk to me about that.
I actually got annoyed of him sometimes in the postseason just because he'd text me like every day. He's like, "We're out here till it's done." I'm like, "Oh, dude, I have to stay out here for like another month." Like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So I think just having him out there, and I think I was beating him at the beginning of the summer. So that's what probably helped him a lot. It's just like everyone would always joke on him like, "Oh, you're gonna let your little brother outsell you." So I think that helped him a lot, because he ended up passing me probably like a week or two later. But just having that like level of competition with each other, because we're really close as brothers, and just like having that level of competition and like just being able to work together has been like a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Because most people don't like get to work with their family or their best friends. Like I work with my best friend Colby, and he was a huge part of my summer too.
Yeah. Totally. That's awesome. Do you come from a wrestling background too?
Yeah, I do. I wrestled all of high school. And
love it.
Yeah, it was a huge blessing in my life too.
Yeah. It was cool talking about that a little bit with Devin, but it was like, a lot of the big slayers I know have a wrestling background.
Yeah.
On the like that are from door to door, because they learn that discipline, they learn the work ethic, they learn to like get up when you get knocked down, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
What are some of the lessons that you took away from having that wrestling background that applied to the job?
I think the main thing would be work ethic. It's like, dude, just literally you're out there working until it's done. Like you can't negotiate with yourself, but work ethic for sure. And then similar to like, I guess I'd put it into like an analogy with like racking, just like going around and like just doing like the same stuff. Because just sales gets really, really old. You just focus on like the fundamentals. Same thing with like wrestling. It's like you're doing like the same moves every single day, running in circles on the mat, warming up. It just gets like boring, but you got to keep with it, and then you find like success, and it like fuels you. So same thing with like kind of relate that from wrestling to sales. It's like, yeah, it's more like mundane, but it's still you still get the job done.
Yeah, and that's kind of a huge principle is like if you can learn to enjoy the mundane, your whole life will transform.
Yeah.
And that's like the hardest thing for every salesperson, because it's literally like, ADHD and like crazy world we live in and everything. Yeah. So learning to endure that, you said that word endure earlier.
Yeah.
I think that's a great word.
Endurance.
Like in the theme of, I guess what we could say, like this podcast,
yeah.
Like endurance, especially because, dude, how many guys would stay out like that much extra time after a summer just to fulfill on their goal? Not very many.
There's a few with the grit, but I don't know about anyone else.
Which is awesome. I mean, it just goes to show like the level of, like I was saying earlier, the level of accountability, the level of, you know, everything is really transformative.
Yeah, exactly.
And it really means a lot. So now talk to me about, like, you know, you moved a few different markets, you know, you go from Jersey to Indy. Was there a whole lot of adapting you had to do, or what was that kind of like?
Adapting to the market's not that huge of a deal because you're just talking to people. And you run into so many different types of people throughout the day. It's like the market's not going to change that much. Mm-hmm. What changed for me at least, is we switched companies, we switched what billing cycles we do, we switched what programs we did. Mm. So that was the really only thing that I had to adjust to. But selling wise, much didn't change. Still sold at a pretty high level. But yeah, just switching and adapting like different things throughout the pitch to make it sound just as sexy.
Yeah.
Selling a different program.
Yeah. Because how different is, you know, the Midwest from the East Coast?
It is extremely different actually, because East Coast is all business. And then once you move over to like Indiana, like Mid Coast, well, like all that kind of stuff, it's like just people are so friendly.
Yeah.
People will just listen to you and talk to you.
Yeah.
Like this one part of Indiana we went into, like I think it was Elk Ridge, Indiana. People were just so nice.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. Like people would just talk to you, and coming from Jersey, people were like, "Okay, what are you doing?" "Okay, nope." And then they shut your door. So they're just way quicker.
Yeah, East Coast, I noticed that, like, when I knocked in, like, Northern Virginia, it was like, if you didn't spit it out in, like, 2 seconds, it was like, see ya.
Yeah. I guess I would say switching from Jersey to Indiana was a lot easier than if you were to switch from Indiana to Jersey. Because you're going to have to speed everything up for Jersey, and it's yeah.
Yeah, because in Jersey, you're not running into the guy that's just going to want to, like, you know, shoot the breeze with you just to shoot the breeze. It's like, they just want the quick in and out and get out of there. But then you can adapt to that going to the Midwest. Yeah. And then adjusting from Indiana to Texas, was that very difficult, or?
The only thing with Texas, same thing. We had to change programs because we sold for a different company. But I think the only thing in Texas was people just don't answer the door as much.
Well, because they have so many
door-to-door
They have a lot
more people with solar. Yeah. Alarms, security, all that kind of stuff. So they just don't open the door as much. Yeah. You're just not talking to as many people, so you're not selling as much. Yeah. I was in like the inner skirts of Texas and just couldn't get anyone to open the door. And then once I moved to like the outer skirts, it helped a ton.
That's good. Yeah. What part of Texas?
It was Dallas.
Gotcha.
I don't know like what city it was in.
For sure. But yeah, that's been a common theme amongst majority of like Texas people, or the Texas knockers I talk to. They're like, yeah, the trick is just getting them to open the door.
That's literally the first step. You have to get as many people to open the door as possible.
Yeah, I had an alarm guy, Aon Saleem, who sold in Houston. He literally I was like, what's your hack for, like, you know, knocking in Texas and standing out? He's like, dude, I knocked late. Like, I stayed out late because those people aren't talking to door-to-door guys all day. It's like, I'm like, dang, like, that's actually nuts. Like, you know, looking for the lights that are on, the people that are out. I'm like, that's ballsy for one, but two, like, got the job done.
Yeah, knocking light's important for sure.
Yeah. So, talk to me about what was your schedule like? You know, did you have a routine? What did all of that look like?
I had a good morning routine. I would wake up, eat some breakfast. My wife would make me, and then I'd always write in my journal. I'm a big affirmation guy. Probably got it from Zach Seeger, but I'd write, I lead from the front. I'm a Golden Door winner. I'm confident. Just like a bunch of different affirmations in my journal every morning. Not like a crazy routine. Sometimes I'd go to the gym. Sometimes I just go to the gym to sit in the steam room, relax, kind of prep for my day. But it was never like a set schedule where I like did this every single day. It was like either the gym or relax, meditate, and get ready, have breakfast, all the fun stuff. Yeah. And then I think a huge difference that led from me jumping from 200K to 650 as well, or 670, is, and I got it from Cody, is where we used to go to lunch every day. Like we'd go out, eat, sit down, relax, and then we'd hit the doors. Or this year, we'd go to Wawa, grab a sandwich, get in the car, eat it on the way out to area. So we just had a lot more time on the doors. So I feel like that helped a lot too.
Yeah, because we've all been there when, like, you know, correlation ends. Oh, let's all grab lunch. You all get lunch and you're just eating, and it's like you're not, like, you lose that peak state that you got in at correlation.
Yeah. I think having a morning routine is super important, but also not like, so it's not too mundane where you're like, okay, this is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Type thing. So because you're
100%.
already doing that 90% of your other day of the day. So it's like, enjoy your morning and your routine.
100%. And hot take, actually, I believe it, you know, do whatever is going to get you into state to sell. Yeah. If that means you have a rigorous morning routine, have a rigorous morning routine. But at the same time, I'm also like not the biggest fan of a strict, rigorous morning routine. Yeah. Like, you know, because I think a lot of guys can waste time just because it's like, oh, well, like I have to do my breath work. I have to do my meditation. I have to do my journaling. I have to do my affirmations. Then I have to go in the cold plunge. Then I go to the gym, and then I do the sauna, and then I do, you know, thing after thing. And it's like, dang, you got like a 3-hour morning routine, and like you spend no time like training. You spend no time like doing other things. Like if you spent time working, like you're gonna, you know, probably solve the rest of your problems you think this rigorous morning routine is going to solve. And again, I'm all for doing whatever works for you.
100%. I think a big thing with like those super long, tedious morning routines is like most of the things that you're probably doing, you're not present. You're just going through the motions. So I think that's
you're losing intentionality.
You're not being intentional.
Yeah.
So I think like having like a intentional morning routine will help a lot more instead of like this, and then kind of just going through the motions.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be
exactly, because if you can distill your morning routine into like 30 minutes to an hour where it's actually intentional, that's going to benefit you a lot more than just going through the motions.
Especially if you're being present, for sure.
Yeah. And especially like guys at the gym, it's like we know the ones who aren't working. If you're not looking bigger, if you're not progressing, like we know who you are.
100%, dude. That's funny.
Bunch of guys getting called out right now. But so yeah, thanks for, you know, sharing that. So now what were your hours like on the door specifically?
We'd always do our morning meetings from 10 to 11, and then Cody would always run the 11 to 11:45. Sometimes you'd have me run those meetings. Sometimes you'd have Devin or Colby or Bo, like some of the other managers. So running those meetings helped a lot actually for me. Just being more confident, being able to train other guys and like actually do what I'm doing on the doors and like showing them. But hours on the doors, we'd leave 11:45, grab lunch way quick, get on the doors. Cody always put me out way far. I don't know why, but he just did. So I was always like way far down in Jersey. So I just got on the doors like 1:30, and then I was on dark till past dark.
Yeah. Okay. Did you take any breaks during that?
No, not unless I was like an extremely tough day. I think the longest I've ever sat down is like 15 minutes.
15 minutes. That's it. That's the longest you sat down. That's impressive. Well, I mean, again, you're a Golden Door winner. So
yeah, sitting down.
I asked that question to emphasize that point.
No, for sure. And I think just sitting down, dude, you just spiral. You just spiral out of control. It's like, you don't want to be here. It's like it's hot or it's cold. It's like just a bunch of things going in your mind. Yeah. And you're not focusing on like the positive stuff.
Totally. What does a tough day for you look like?
I think my biggest thing for me is like when people aren't answering. That's probably the thing I hate the most.
Oh, that's a tough one because it's out of your control.
You can't control it. And then if people just aren't listening. So, like if I can get people to listen to me and have a conversation, like even if I don't sell them, like it helps me stay in a better mood. Helps me stay more positive. Like, okay, that guy was cool. It's like on to the next.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can get like, you know, you can fill your emotional bank with even just a good interaction, whether or not they buy.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Yeah. Cause you know, if they're not listening, if they're not buying, cause I imagine, did you bagel at all? Over
this year, this was the first year I didn't bagel ever.
So a tough day for you, you still have a sale under your belt.
Yeah. I had several 1 days.
Yeah.
That was a tough day.
Which is, you know, still impressive in and of itself.
Yeah.
But how do you, you know, especially like the next day, like, cause sometimes people spiral like the next day after a hard day. How do you go back and you know, take revenge on the previous day?
I think just having short-term memory loss. Like I learned that my first year and it's just helped me a lot. It's like Dude, the last 5 minutes where this Karen was yelling at me, that does not need to leave. Like, it needs to stay where it's at and not come in my present. Like, it just needs to go away. And so just having that short-term memory loss of like, okay, dude, that doesn't matter. It's not going to affect the next hour. And just having that mindset where like, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like it's a little bit easier said than done. Like,
it's extremely tough.
How do you take the emotion out of that?
I learned this from Carson Blazard. He did $1 million.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's
shout out Carson, you're the man.
Listening to music on the doors, in between doors, helped me a ton. I only did that at the end of postseason, but I really loved it. And I'll probably do it like most of this year.
Nice. What do you listen to?
Just like my favorite music, rap, country, like whatever sounds good.
Whatever you're feeling in the moment.
High beat stuff, like high beat music, positive stuff. Just listening to music. And if you're not listening to music, just self-affirmations in between doors. Or sometimes I'll even call my wife, just put her in my pocket, just have her listen to me. Because I get really, I feel more confident if my wife's listening to me, because I can't just like knock on the door and not be confident.
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things that helps me. It's like calling her and just like, she loves listening to me. And then I usually always get like a sale within 30 minutes of her listening to me, so it helps.
Totally. Yeah, it's like when you have a rookie on your hip. Like some guys like crash when they have a rookie on their hip, but for me, I'm like, that's when I'm like the best.
When they're shadowing you.
Yeah, because I'm like, I have to like show up and
I have
to, show them how it's done, kind of thing. So
yeah,
but that's cool. Yeah, use your wife as leverage, because that's another thing. Being married on the doors is very difficult for a lot of people, and I've like touched on this in the past in the podcast, but like. Aside from, calling her throughout the day a little bit, like, and having her just there, what are some other like tips and tricks you have for sustaining a happy marriage? Yeah.
It was a different summer for sure, because we're high school sweethearts. So I've known her since my ninth grade. So, I think our first 2 years, she didn't come out. It was way tough doing long distance. The third year she came out and it was good. But this year, we actually got married. So we got married like right before we went out in March. And I just feel like I had my back up against the wall. Like, I have to provide, I have to do this, I have to do this. This has to get done. So that probably was a huge factor of me selling a lot more too, just because I have to do it done. I have to get it done now.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Probably some like things that helped like keep a happy marriage. Just probably setting some time at the end of your day or at the beginning of your day where you're just gonna set. Like, you're going to be present in this time with your wife.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be on your phone. You're not going to be doing this or that. You're just present for at least like an hour a day.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to have that conversation with the spouse where like, you're going to be doing this and you kind of have to make some compromises, but whatever's going to benefit both of you guys in the long run is what you guys do.
Yeah. Setting that proper expectation. I heard Seeger talk about that, where he's just like, she understands like, I'm working this time to this time, but I have an hour set where like phone's on airplane mode and it's just her.
Yeah.
She gets an hour a day.
You have to, dude. You have to. Because they do a lot for you too. It's like, they're sitting at home most of the time, just bored out of their minds. And then they're cooking, cleaning, they're doing all that good stuff. So they definitely deserve it.
Yeah, the wives are the real warriors.
100%.
Dude, I should start bringing wives onto the podcast.
That'd be funny.
Just like, yo, what? Like, how do you do this?
My wife would love that, actually.
that'd be sick. We should, I should get like a big group, like four wives or something. I'm like, okay, like let's jam on this. How do you guys survive a summer?
That would actually be a pretty good podcast.
I think I'm totally going to do that. Okay, let it be written in stone. So, exactly. Now kind of moving back into. Like the nuances of the summer. You're bouncing around different markets. Yeah, tons of different things you're doing. What about Seeger talks about it. He's like, it's not the pitch. And I'm like, I agree with that. It's not about the pitch. It's about like, selling technicality. But like sales tactics are important, in my opinion, too.
100%.
It's part of it. I mean, I say like
know how to sell.
90% is mindset, 10% is sales skill. What did you do to be able to learn the sales skill set and be able to close at a high level?
Same thing I would say is proximity. It's like just surrounding yourself with the right leaders that work with you, and they're actually there to train you. And because if they've done it before, it's like they know how to show you, like they just do. So I train with Cody once a week, every week. I think right when I got back from 2022, going into 2023, it's like I trained once a week with him every week. And then I also trained with my business partner, Colby, every once in a while too.
Yeah. I imagine, training with the Cody all at once a week is probably going to help you sell more pest control,
100%.
Which is awesome. And then closing, was that a hard concept for you to really get down? Like, was it hard to like learn how to go the rounds? What did that look like for you?
I think just hard closing, with Indians, it's pretty fun and easy. Yeah. With like, just like regular homeowners, I'd say, you just got to do it. Like, it just comes with the confidence. Because it kind of does seem scary at first when like, okay, do you want this right now or not? Yeah. It's like you're asking a hard question. It's like, you just got to do it. Get it out of the way. And then you can go back into going the rounds and making it make sense for them. Yeah. But getting that first hard close out of the way, at least, I would say helps a lot. Yeah. Well, because then that's when you're really like rolling up your sleeves, and that's when the objections are coming out, and that's when the real selling begins. It's when it starts for sure. Yeah, because a lot of guys, they lose faith after like 2 rounds, and they're like, oh, this guy really just doesn't want it. Just doesn't want it, dude. What the heck? What is Cody saying? He just said no. But are you when you're going the rounds, what does that look like exactly? Are you like re-looping and like trying to rebuild value? Are you trying to re-problem solve, or like? Are you saying like new closes, or what does that look like? No, we've completely systemized it for the most part. Like obviously, if they're gonna say something like way different, and when you're going rounds, like customize it to that. But, like I have five racks just like memorized, where I'll just go directly into that, and then just twisting on the issue, even if it's not like a huge issue. The way like the grid always trains on it, it's like, either like you have a hole in your shoe, you're twisting in the shoe to like let them know they need new shoes, or if there's like a little piece of twine hanging out, like you're gonna pull on that and you make the hole a lot bigger. Like when you're twisting on the huge wasp nest they have, or even if it's like a little smaller one, like yeah, dude, that's gonna get a lot bigger. It's gonna stain the paint. It's gonna take away the pretty look. Like you're just making it like a big problem for them. Yeah, they're gonna go into like the soffits. You're gonna have to rip off the soffits. You're just making it seem like a way bigger deal. Yeah. So it's like you're taking like a wasp nest. Yeah. Like I can knock that down with a broom, but like if you really dig into it, you can make it sound like a pretty big problem. Yeah. Well, because especially if that's their pain point, then you're presenting a solution. Their hot button, for sure. Like you definitely have to find their hot button as early on as you can, and then you're just twisting on that throughout the entire process, and then you're also twisting on that late into like deep rounds. You're just always twisting. Yeah. Which makes sense, because I mean that's the solution to their problem they're trying to solve. That's why they're gonna buy. Yeah, people don't buy when they have a problem, or they don't buy right now if they have a problem in the future. But if you can show them like it's gonna get worse, like if you wait, you're gonna pay more. Yeah. Or it's gonna get worse and this is gonna happen, and so just be able to like customize it to them and their issues and their hot buttons. Totally. How long is your sales process usually? Like from like the second you knock to you're walking away with the deal? Walking away with the deal, let's say like 15, 20 minutes. So you're getting in, getting off pretty quick. Yeah. And then what was your average contract value? $1,050. $1,050. So over $1,000 for contract, 15 minutes with the customer. What's the biggest hack for like streamlining that process? Dude, I just keep it extremely simple. Literally base, eaves, yard, because where you're selling them, like, is their problem. Yeah. And you're twisting on that problem, so you're really not getting into like the weeds of everything until you start racking. Yeah. So I just keep it super simple in like the intro and the service, and then probably like the longest part of the sales process is going to be the racking, closing, looping, racking, twisting, all that stuff. Yeah.
And then you're walking away with the deal after that. So
Yep. On to the next.
that's awesome. So like, how much of that time are you going the rounds versus like pitching them on the product?
Dude, I'd say intro and services maybe 3-4 minutes. Like it's way quick.
And then that's right when the closing question's asked after those 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Dang. And then that's when you're going the rounds.
Yeah.
10 minutes of that, and then you're walking away with the deal.
Yeah. I mean, obviously sometimes I've had sales go into like an hour. I've
Yeah.
had people be like an hour long, but like I'd say on average 15, 20 minutes to close the sales. Pretty accurate.
How do you know when to walk away?
That's a tough question. You just got to be able to like, once you start doing this job a lot, I feel like you start to pick up on like little cues that people leave behind, and you start to read people. I feel like that's how I've felt. Like you'll start picking up on like body actions, eye contact, like all the little things.
Yeah.
And you're like more of a guess, I'd say. But you can kind of systemize it where you can get pretty good at being able to like decide if it's like a yes or no.
Gotcha. So just reading the room,
Being able
basically.
to reading the room, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's the longest you went with someone where they didn't buy?
Shit, dude. Probably 2 hours.
Dang.
Probably 2 hours.
That's crazy. What? And then finally, like, what kept you there so long?
I think it was an Indian fella. He wanted it. I can tell he wanted it, but like he just didn't want to pay that price.
Yeah.
It was all about price for him. But like I kept trying to make it make sense for him and throwing stuff in. And then he started walking me around his house and like showing me all these things, and like I'm like, okay, this guy's showing interest.
Yeah.
So that's why I stayed. And then I just kept leading in, and we kept going back and forth. But
Yeah, just fish on a hook.
yeah,
That's a tough one when they're like showing so many buying signs.
Yeah.
But they're just like,
you at least got to walk out of there with a minimum.
yeah, totally.
Sometimes it doesn't always go your way.
That's cool. What's the fastest deal you've ever done, you think?
Dude, I think probably like 3-4 minutes where they're like, yeah, I'll do it. But not like filling everything out and like all done, probably like 10.
That's
I've
quick.
had people just be like, oh, dude, I've been looking for pest control. Like, cool.
Oh, great. Yeah. Where do I sign?
Literally. Yeah, it's cool. Gotta be at the right place, right time.
That's awesome. So, now that we're kind of in, you're in a unique spot where you're going to go on a 6-week blitz here, which I haven't seen that done before, which is actually pretty cool. I'm like, what a cool little like test drive for a lot of people. So like, what are some of your goals for this blitz? What's it going to look like? Like, talk to me about it.
Yeah. So this year, at least for like the 6 weeks, on average, last year I probably did it at 100K a month. So this year in 6 weeks, I'm gonna do 200K. I'm gonna get like, I think it's 50% with an extra 2 weeks. So just being able to do 200K, and then I didn't really recruit a ton this year. Just wanted more focus on sales, get really good at that, and then you can start like training guys, doing all that fun stuff. But 200K this year for the 6 weeks, just to get like a huge head start on the summer.
Yeah, which is going to be awesome. Going into summer, like having, had so much
Little cushion.
preseason.
Little cushion area. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you going to be going? How many people are going with you?
Yeah. So we're going to South Carolina for the 6 weeks, and then we're going to Houston for the summer. For the South Carolina, I know Cody's going, my brother Devin, Colby, and then we have a few guys that are going out with us. I think there's gonna be 50 guys out on Cody's team for sure, I think.
Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting.
That'll be
a
fun.
little like 6 week. I mean, this starts like February 1st to middle of March. So that's gonna be really cool. So
Very exciting and new. We don't have to stay out there for 4+ months, so it'll be a little bit different.
Yeah, then you come home for a month, and then you go back out.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about. It's like,
Yeah. So what are some of your goals for this next summer?
Yeah. So last year I did the 670 in basically 7 months. So I want to try and shorten that. So I did the 650. This year I want to do, because the Golden Door got raised, right, to 700.
Yep.
So I want to do the 700K in 5 months. So just way shorter. And then if I'm out there, I'm going to stay out and
of course
do more, of course.
that's
You
who
have to.
you are, dude.
You have to.
Have to. Well, dude, that's in stone now.
Dude, you have to.
We got your goal. Well, dude, I really appreciate you coming all the way up here and sharing your nuggets. Like this has been really helpful, I think, for a lot of people across different industries. So really appreciate you coming in. Guys, keep tuning in to Golden Door Deep Dive podcast. We're going to keep doing these all the way throughout the year. We still have quite a few more to go through. A lot of pest guys. We got to go through most of the solar guys still too. So appreciate you tuning in. Keep tuning in. More tips and tricks how you can be a Golden Door winner yourself. We'll see ya.